Hello everyone, welcome to session 21 of Selenium training. In today's session, I'm going to continue the arrays concept which I have started in the last session, right? So coming to the arrays, as I explained, for example, if I have data type like int a is equal to a variable which is declared with int data type and assigned with the value 5, I can only store one value into this particular array, this particular variable, right? I cannot assign more than one value. This is a problem. This is not possible, guys. Okay, only one value can be stored into this particular variable. But what if I have to store more than one values into the single variable? Then I need to simply convert this into an array, guys. Okay, here this is a single dimensional array. Int single brackets, single square bracket means single dimensional array. Here in now I can create a syntax in such a way that int a is equal to new int of something, let's say 3. Okay, this means that into this particular variable I can store how many values, guys? 3 values. Okay, here integer array, it's not a normal int, guys, it is an integer array, single dimensional integer array. This variable is nothing but a single dimensional integer array. It can store integer values, more than one integer values it can store, guys. This variable a can store more than one integer values. So how many number of values can be stored into this particular variable a? We can store up to 3. 3 is the count, the size of the array. The size of the array is 3. That means into this particular variable a, I can store 3 up to 3 integer values, up to 3 integer values. New operator, as you already know, new operator is used for creating the objects, guys. Okay. Here, array is a non-primitive data type. There are two types of data types, right? Primitive and non-primitive. Primitive or non-object oriented, whereas non-primitive or object oriented. So for non-primitive, there are two examples. One is under non-primitive comes strings and arrays. Okay, under non-primitive comes strings and arrays. What will come under primitive? Int, char, double. Okay, boolean, short, long, float, byte. All these things will come under primitive data types, whereas the strings and array will come under non-primitive data types. Here objects will be created, guys. Okay, in non-primitive data types objects will be created. So some new operator will be used. New operator will be used for creating the objects in case of non-primitive data types like strings and arrays. Whereas in primitive data types like int to byte, okay, objects won't be created here. This is not object oriented. Only the strings and arrays are object oriented. So this is a syntax case for a single dimensional array. The syntax for single dimensional array. So going back, arrays can be categorized into 3 types. What are they? Arrays can be categorized into 3 types. One is single dimensional array. Okay, single dimensional array. Another one is two dimensional array. Third one is 3-dimensional array. So out of these 3 types of arrays, we only need to learn single dimensional array and 2-dimensional array for Selenium, guys. We don't have to learn this 3-dimensional array for Selenium. Okay, you don't require this. We are never going to use that. Only these 2 will be enough. So in these sessions, I will be explaining single dimensional array and 2-dimensional array, guys. Fine. So this is what basic recap. Fine. So coming to the first type of array, that is single dimensional array. Example here is int array. How many arrays, guys? This is single dimensional, only one. That is single dimensional. Int single dimensional array. A is equal to new int of 3. Right? 3 means size of the array. You can store up to 3 integer value. Which type of values? Here, whatever the data type is there, that type of values you can store into this variable A. Since it is integer, since it is int, you can store integer values into this variable A. How many values? Up to 3 values. New operator will be creating the object. So now let me, so far it is a theoretical, guys. Okay. Let me go to the practical stuff. Let me demonstrate declaring, creating, assigning, and accessing the single dimensional array. This is an example program, guys, which I am going to demonstrate now. Let me open that. Meanwhile, also open this Eclipse IDE. Okay. Eclipse IDE is also opening. Let's wait for it to open. Only one is enough. So I am going to explain about the single dimensional arrays, guys. Single dimensional. That's as part of the single dimensional array. What is an example I already gave you? Int array A is equal to new int of the size of the array, that is 3. If I give 5 in place of 3, you can store 5 values, 5 integer values into this variable. Nothing more. Fine. Let me launch this one. Oh, error. An error has occurred, guys. Let me launch again. Launch it. Okay, it's launching now. So here I'm going to demonstrate many things. One is declaration, how to declare an single dimensional array, how to create an object for the single dimensional array, how to assign the values into the single dimensional array, and how to access the values that got assigned into the single dimensional array. 4 things I'm going to explain, guys. What are they? One is, first one, declaration. Declaration of a single dimensional array. Second is creation. Creation of single dimensional array. That means creating an object for the single dimensional array. Then assigning the values. How to assign the values into the single dimensional array. Last one is how to access the values. After assigning, how to access the values of which got assigned into the single dimensional array. Okay, fine. Hope this got launched. This got launched, guys. Let me delete everything. Let's start fresh. So there's no project now. Right click on this package explorer, say new, select project, select this Java project, click on next. I'll give the name as arrays demo. Click on finish. Arrays demo project got created here. Expand it. Right click on src, say new, select class, create a demo class. So click on finish. Demo.java file got created, and inside this file a class with the name demo got created, right? Let me create a main method, public static void main string of args, save it. In this main method, in this main method, I am going to do few things. One is, what are they? First, I am going to declare a single dimensional array. Then I am going to create an object for the single dimensional array. Then I am going to assign the values to the single dimensional array and access the assigned values. So how to perform all these four things? So I will demonstrate now. Okay. First of all, I am going to declare, guys. First thing is declaration. How to declare a? Let's say there is a variable a. Okay. How to declare this particular variable as an integer? Simply we'll write like this, right? Int a. This is like declaration part, guys. Int a. What about the single dimensional array? Okay. How to declare a single dimensional array? I want to declare this particular single dimensional array as like this, integer array. I can even declare like this also, guys, double. If you want to store boolean like decimal values, you can declare this particular variable as double single dimensional array. If you only want to store more than one character values, you can create like this. Okay, declaration, guys. So let's keep it simple. I will go with the basic one, that is integer array. Okay, integer single dimensional array which is having the variable a. This is nothing but the declaration part, guys. This is nothing but the declaration part. Now I am going to create an object for this array. It doesn't have anything. There's no memory got allocated for this integer array. It just got declared, that's it. But how to create an object for this single dimensional array? Simply say is equal to new int of how many values you want to store, that number you have to give. Now new integer array object got created, guys. New object of integer array type got created. Fine. Now the memory got allocated. So like this. When I say new int of 3, what will happen? Let's say this is your computer memory. Somewhere in the memory, somewhere in the memory, somewhere in the computer memory, some memory will get allocated for that integer array. Okay. How many values can be stored? 3 values. 1, okay. Let me draw again. 2, 3. Like this, 3 values will be three partitions will be created in this particular memory. So I am saying here, what is the reference variable? Object reference variable a, right? In this example, a is the object reference variable. This is the object. While creating the object, the size of the array is 3. 3 values can be stored. So this is how the memory, these 3 slots will be created. Fine. Now the object got created, so memory will be allocated for this integer array, single dimensional integer array, and three values. Size of the array is 3. Now creation part is also over, guys. Now comes the assigning part. How to assign the values? Simple, guys. Here in this diagram, 3 slots are there. There is a concept called index, guys. Index concept is there. Okay, there is a concept called index. The first cell in this memory allocation will have the index value as 0. The second cell will have the memory will have the allocated memory will have the index as 1. The third one will have the index value as 2. 0, 1, 2. Okay, 0, 1, and 2. Like this, guys, index will be there. So with the help of this index, we are going to assign some values into this particular cells. At present, this particular array doesn't have any values assigned, right? In the memory, there are no values assigned in these cells. But the first cell will have the index 0, second cell will have the index 1, third cell will have the index 2. So how to assign the values now? So a single dimensional, inside this you can write 0. That means integer array A at the index value 1, you are going to assign a value known as, let's say, some 5. Okay. At the second index of the same array variable, I am going to assign some value known as 3. Third, in the third slot, I am going to assign a value called 9. Okay. This is how I can assign the values to this particular array elements. These are known as array elements, guys. A of 0, A of 1, A of 2 is array element. This is an array. In this array, there are 3 elements. Since the size of the array is 3, we will be having 3 elements. The first element, 5 value, integer value 5 will be stored. The second element, integer value 3 is stored. The third element, integer value A is stored. Sorry, 9 is stored. That means here value 5 is stored in the memory. Here the value 3 got stored in the memory. Here the value 9 got stored into the memory. So A of 0 is equal to how much, guys? 5. A of 1 is equal to 3. A of 2 is equal to 9. Like this, guys. See how to work. Now, assigning part is over. How to access these values from the array? Simple, guys. System dot out dot println the first value stored in the array is plus A of 0. Okay, this is how you have to access. Simple. System dot out dot println the second value stored in the array is plus A of 1. Now the third one. System dot out dot println the third value stored in the array is plus A of 2. Okay. Save it. Right click. Run as. This is how you have to access the right click, run as Java application. It's running, guys. The program is getting run. So the first value stored in the array is 5, right? The second value stored in the array is 3. The third value stored in the array is 9. So now you understood, right, how to declare a single dimensional array, how to create a single dimensional array, how to assign the values to a single dimensional array, and how to access it, how to access the assigned values from the single dimensional array. This is how you have to work with a single dimensional array. This is the example, guys. So let's go to the diagrammatic representation of the single dimensional array. The same thing which I explained now. Okay. So whenever you create a single dimensional array using this new operator in the memory, in the computer memory, some array object will be created. Array object is nothing but some memory, guys, again. So 3 slots will be there. First slot will have the index 0, second slot will have the index 1, third slot will have the index 2. So when you say A of 0 is equal to 5, the 5 will be stored in the first slot. A of 1 is equal to 2 will be stored in the second slot. 9 will be stored in the third slot. In order to access, you have to say A of 0, A of 1, A of 2. It will access. Okay. So this is the program. Already explained. This part is already explained. Now let's go with a shortcut representation, guys. I represented the array in this format, right? So now I want to get the same output with a shortcut representation. There is a shortcut representation, guys. You don't have to write this many number of statements, guys. How many statements you have wrote for declaring, creating, and assigning the values? For these three things, not to perform the declaration, creation, and assignment of the values into the array, how many statements you created so far? The first statement, second statement, third statement, fourth statement. I don't want to write these four statements, guys. Okay, I want to create a shortcut step where in a single statement I want to cover all these four statements. How to do that? There's a shortcut representation, guys. Remove this new integer of 3. Simply remove that. Okay. Instead of that, open a flower brace and close it. Okay. Close it. Put a semicolon at the end of this particular statement. Now, guys, in between this flower brace, write the first value 5. Okay. This is not required now. A of 0 is not required. Okay. Now, write the second value, that is 3. Put a comma after 5 and paste it. Remove this part. Now the third value. Remove from here and put a comma and paste it here and remove this part. Now how many statements are there, guys? I completed the declaration part in the single statement. Object creation is also done with the help of this shortcut format. Even though you don't see the new, at the backside this statement will be having the new operator. Okay, new object will be created for this thing. This is a shortcut representation, guys, nothing more than that. Okay, here I am assigning three values. The first value 5 is like a of 0, second value 3 is like a of 1, third value 9 is a of 2. Same thing, guys. Okay. If I say a of 0, a of 1, a of 2, this 5, 3 and 9 will be printed, guys. Right click, run as Java. First of all, let me clear this output so that you'll get a fresh output. Right click, run as Java application. You see the same output you got. Okay, this is a shortcut representation for a single dimensional array. Is it clear, guys? So far, is it clear? Any questions, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, fine. Let's move to the next one then. Okay. Let's find the size of the single dimensional array. So here only three values are there. I can directly, by looking at that, I can say that the size of this array is 3, right? The size of the array is 3, I can say. But what if I have good number of values? That is 2, 4, 7, 6, 8, 1, 11, some 19, 29, 36, 40, 55, 84. Okay, like this if I have good number of values. So this now counting it is a very big problem, right? So let's find the size of this array. Okay, let's find the size of this array. So how to find the size of this array? Simple, guys. There is a variable known as length variable. Okay, length. So this is a predefined variable of the array, guys. This is a length variable is the predefined variable of the array. I will show you where exactly is the length variable. So for arrays, length variable is the predefined variable. So I will say a dot length. A is the array variable, single dimensional array variable. This is the length variable. Put a semicolon. length. What's happening? System dot out dot println a dot length. That's it, guys. Simple. A dot length. So a dot length will give you the size of the array, guys. So let's manually calculate for now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Total 15 values are there in this particular array. So the size should be 15, right? When I print system.out.println, when I print the a dot length, it will print the length size of the array, that is 15, guys. Let's see whether it is printing or not. You see 15 got printed. The size of the array is 15. Okay. So using this length predefined variable of arrays, you can retrieve the length of the array. Now let's go to this in Google, or somewhere. Let's go to google.com and search for Java 8 API, guys. Okay, Java 8 API. Some predefined library will be there for Java. Okay, what is predefined, what is defined, I will explain. For now, just some predefined. Okay, already developed features by Java developers. We don't have to develop again. Already Java developers have developed it. You simply have to reuse them. Find out the arrays. Okay, this is array. Just click on the array. Array is a predefined class in Java, guys. So can anyone explain what is a predefined class and what is a user defined class? Do anyone know here? What is a predefined class and what is a user defined class in Java? Anyone know anything about that? One side is user defined, other side is predefined. Predefined class. Here user defined class. There are some predefined classes in Java, guys. One example of the predefined class in Java is string. Another example is array. Like that, many predefined classes are there. For this, developers have already written the code. Java developers have written the code. We have to simply use them. They are already predefined. Okay. Now coming to the user defined. If you remember in the last session, I created a class, public, some class known as car, right? It's not there in Java, guys. This car doesn't belong to Java. This is user defined. I created it manually. Okay, it's not there. It's not there in the library of the Java, right? I created it. I created it, right? So this car class, I created it, and then I just mentioned the variables and all the stuff, right, for this car class. But here for string and array, they are predefined. They're already there in the Java library. I have to use them. Okay, Java developers have spent good amount of time in creating this kind of predefined classes. Using the predefined classes, we can actually perform a lot of things. Okay, so they are predefined. This car class is the user defined. Similarly, in arrays, this length variable is a predefined or user defined. This length variable is a user defined or predefined. Anyone?
Predefined?
Yes, it's predefined, guys. Correct. It's predefined. So it's already there in the Java library. How to go and find whether this length variable is already predefined and is there in the Java library? For that, guys, this is a procedure. Go to google.com and search for Java 8 API. For now, I am using Java 8. So Java 8 version I am using. So Java 8. Click on this first link from search results. This is nothing but the API of Java, guys. A lot of all the predefined classes, all the predefined stuff will be there in this page. Okay, Oracle is maintaining this library. Okay, Oracle will actually update this on a ongoing basis. When a new version comes, Java 9, they will create another page containing all the predefined class of the Java 9 and all the stuff. Okay, let's find the predefined class known as array. You see, this is a predefined array class. This array class is predefined. It's already there in the Java library. Okay, fine. This is a page that is dedicated to this class known as array. So all the properties and all the stuff related to this array class will be there in this particular page. Let's go down to see what actually is there in the array. Some methods are there, array methods, predefined methods are there, object boolean, lot of this get boolean, all these are the array objects. Okay, you don't have to learn everything, guys. Based on your requirement, you have to learn them. And you see here some parameter is there, length. Length is a predefined thing, guys. Length is a predefined thing of the array. You see, get length, not length. So somewhere on the top only. Methods. These are the methods, guys. And under the methods, they gave this length parameter. The length of the new array. Length parameter is the length of the new. This is a predefined, guys. Length is a predefined ones. Okay. So it's there in the Java 8 API. So length is a predefined variable of the Java, which can be used to retrieve the size of the array. This is the concept. So when I printed, it printed 15. The size of the array got printed here in the output. Now let's move to the next one. Let's go to some programming stuff where I want to use for loop with the single dimensional array. Okay. I want to use this for loop with how to use for loop with single dimensional array is the concept. So what I will do here is, let's keep this not an issue. Let's keep the same example. Int a is equal to how many values are there? Many values are there. Shortcut representation is there. You can either go with the shortcut representation or normal representation also, not an issue. Okay. So this generally this will take very less time, right? Because you don't have to create multiple statements. So in single statement, we declared the array, we created the object for the array, and we assigned multiple values to the single array, right? Single dimensional array. So this will give the length of the array. What is the length of the array? It printed, guys, in the output. It printed 15, value 15. This is the size of the array. Now let me use for loop with this single dimensional array. How to use a for loop with single dimensional array? So you remember the syntax, right? For the for, there used to be three things. One is initialization, int a, okay, is equal sorry, int something, int I is equal to 1, we can say. Okay, put a semicolon. I less than, here I will give int I is equal to 0 because array index starts from where, guys? Array index starts from 0, right? 0, first 0th index, first index, second index, third index, up to 14 indexes will be there, 0 to 14. So instead of giving I is equal to 1, here I will give I is equal to 0 because array index is starting from 0. I less than, I less than
A
15.
dot length.
Yeah, I less than a dot length. Here a dot length is there. So you can write a dot length. Length. A dot length. Put a semicolon. What is the value, guys, here? What is the value of the A dot length? 15. I less than 15. That means from I is equal to 0 to I is equal to 14, it will be running. For loop will be iterating. Now I need to increment the value of I every time. So I plus plus. The value of the I will be incremented by 1 for every iteration of the for loop. You already know about the for loop, guys. Okay. I is equal to 0, I less than 15, I plus plus. Now I will say system dot out dot println. Okay, println. I'll print a of, how to access the values of the arrays, guys? A of 0, a of 1, a of 2, like that, right? So I will, instead of doing like that, I will say a of I. Okay. If the value of I is 0 here, here a of 0 will be printed. If the value of I is incremented to 1 or 2 or 3, a of 2 or 3 will be printed. Okay. Like that, guys. So when I run this program, how the program will get executed? Let me explain. So here the variable integer array variable a have this many number of values assigned to it. It starts from the index 0 to index 14, right? 0 to 14. 15th value is not there. So system.out.println, this will print the size of the array. For int I is equal to 0, So the program execution will start from here, guys. Int I is equal to 0. This for loop will start from here, this part. I is equal to 0. So value of I is 0 now. So I less than 15. A dot length means 15, right? I less than 15. So 0 is less than 15 is correct or not? It's correct, right? 0 is less than 15 is true. So it will go inside the for loop. It will print this particular thing, A of I. It will print A of I. That means current value of I is 0. So A of 0. What is A of 0, guys? 5, right? The value 5 will be printed in the output. After this got printed, the control will go to I++. The value of I will be incremented by 1. So 0 was there, I will become 1 here. After I becomes 1, here this particular condition will be verified now. 1 less than 15. I is nothing but 1 now. 1 less than 15. Again true. It will go inside this for loop, and here A of I. Current value of I is 1, right? A of 1. A of 1 will be printed. That is 3 will be printed in the output. Again I++. I will be 2. 2 is less than 15. A of 2. 9 will be printed. Like that, guys. It will go till 14. Right? I will be incremented to the value 14. So 14 is less than 15. True, right? So A of 14. What will be the A of 14? A of 14 is 84. 84 got printed. The last value of the array got printed. After that, I will become 15. 15 less than 15. True or false? False. It will come out of the for loop. This is how, guys, all the values in the array will be accessed with the help of this for loop. This simple statement can access that. Otherwise, you have to print each and every array element, right? With the help of for loop, it is very easy to print all the values. You see, this is the size of the array. This is the first element, index 0, index 1, 2, 3, 4, up to 14 index. All the values in the particular index has got printed. Fine. Now let's move to the next one, for each loop. So far I explained for loop, guys. Okay. So far I didn't explain anything about the for each loop, guys. Okay. For each loop I never explained to you guys. Okay. Now I am going to demonstrate for each loop. For the first time, I am going to demonstrate for each loop. So let's go. Okay. Let me explain. Okay. Someone is asking something. Yeah. Nothing. No one is asking anything. Yeah. So I am going to explain for each loop, guys. So while explaining the control statements, control flow statements, there were three type of statements: selection, iterative, and transfer statements. If you remember, right? In that iterative statements, there are four type of statements: while loop, do while loop, for loop, for each loop, right? For each loop. So as part of that session, I already explained these three things, but I never explained this for each loop. I mentioned there that I am going to explain for each loop with the help of arrays, right? Arrays and collections. So let me now explain for each loop. For each loop, the last iterative statement, that is for each loop. So programmatically, I need to explain, guys. The same example, I will convert that into a for each loop. The same example here, which I have showed here, will be converted into for each loop. So let me write again. It also looks like a for loop only, guys. Okay, small difference is there. For this is syntax, guys. You have to understand the syntax, how I am writing for each loop. So here, what is the data type of this array? The variable A. Each and every element in this array, what is the data type of each and every element? Integer, right? 5 is an integer, 3 is an integer, like that. Yes, integer, right? So all the values in this particular area individually are integers. Okay, int data type. So here in this for each loop, I have to write int. Okay, for int, all the elements, individual element data type, I need to write here. Okay. After that, some temporary variable you can give. Okay, some temp. This is a variable, guys. Temp, integer temp, and put a colon and give the name of this array like this. Okay, integer some temporary variable and the array variable like this. The for each, this is the syntax, guys. This is how you have to write the for each loop. Individual elements, data type int, some temporary variable. You can give any value here. You no need of giving temp. You can say some x also, not an issue. You can even say x also. Okay, your wish. So for understanding, I'm giving temp, guys. Okay, anything can be written in that name. It is just a variable name. Temp is just a variable name. You can give any user defined temp variable. Okay, any variable you can give user defined name. Now, guys, I will simply say system dot out dot println this particular temporary variable. I'll print here. That's it. Simple. This is a for each loop, guys. I'm going to demonstrate how the for each loop is working now. Okay. So this many number of values are assigned to this integer array, right? So here int temp a. That means how does this particular for each loop will work? This is a for each loop. How does this for each loop will work? Variable a. The first value in the variable a 5. Okay, 5 will be assigned to this temp. So temp got assigned with 5. System.out.println temp. What will be printed? 5 will be printed. After that, again, the control will go here. This particular thing will look if there are any other things other than this 5. This is already done, right? Any other remaining elements are there in the array. If there are any remaining elements, it will go with the next element. So 3. So 3, A will assign 3 to this temp now. Okay. So again, 3 will be printed. Again, it will check for the remaining elements. And it will take the first element in the remaining elements, 9. 9 will be printed. Then 2 will be printed. Then 4 will be like that. 55 will be printed. And finally, 84 will be assigned to this variable temp. And 84 will be printed. After 84 got assigned, the variable A will be checked for any other elements after 84. No elements. So it will come out of the for each loop. Like this, guys, for each loop will be working. Okay. Right click run as. Until all the elements in the array are completed, the iteration will continue, guys. You no need to provide the size of the uh, no need to provide the size of the array here. Nowhere I provided size of the array. In for loop I provided a dot length, right? Here the size is not provided. For each loop you don't have to provide the size. This is very simple when compared to for loop. This is very simple, right? It's very simple. So this whenever there is a possibility, you have to use for each loop over for loop, guys. Okay. Whenever there is a possibility, you have to use for each loop over for loop. So all the values in the array got printed here with the help of for each loop. Fine. That's about the single dimensional array. So someone is asking me one question. Let's say this is a question. So this is a very basic question. So one asked me like this is an integer. I am writing like this syntax: a is equal to new int of some 3. Okay. What is the difference between this statement and this statement? Int a of array is equal to new int of 3. Is there any difference, guys? Is there any difference? Here, single dimensional array is specified with the data type. Here, single dimensional array is specified with the variable, right? Okay, variable. That is only the difference. Here in data type, the single dimensional array got specified. Here, with the variable, the single dimensional array got specified. So that is only the difference. The working wise, both are same, guys. This will work in the same manner, and this will also work in the same manner. Okay, both are same. Just a syntax difference, but they can be interchanged with each other. But I prefer this first one, guys. I prefer this first one. Understanding wise, this first one is very easy, right? Understanding wise, this is easy because it's simply we can say integer array a is equal to new int of 3. I can read like this. Here I have to say integer array a. Some connection is lost. Still it will work. The syntax is still allowed. But this particular representation is very good for us because it actually readable also. Integer array. It directly says it's an integer single dimensional array. Variable A. Variables can be like this only, right? So new int of size will be 3. This is a better representation, guys, over this one. So whenever you get a chance, you use the first representation over the second representation. But both working wise, both are same ways. No difference. Understanding only is the difference. Readability is only the difference, guys. Nothing more than that. So guys, is it clear about single dimensional array? Is everyone clear on this?
Yes, sir.
Sujata is asking me like instead of this colon, can I use equal to? No, I guess, Sujata. That is against the syntax. You see, you are getting the error. Java is very strict in syntax. Okay. Java is very strict in syntax. If we have to use colon, we have to use colon only. Okay. As it states, we have to use. It's a very strict programming language. So unlike other programming languages, Java is a very strict in syntax. Okay. So syntax need to be followed properly in Java. And case sensitive also, right? Java is case sensitive also. You cannot provide a capital letter in place of small letter and small letter in case of capital letter. Fine. That's it. Now let's move to the next section, that is two-dimensional array. Okay, we are done with the single dimensional array. Let's go to the two-dimensional array. What is a two-dimensional array? First of all, before I explain about what actually is a two-dimensional array, I will explain first what is the syntax of the two-dimensional array. I will explain. Okay. Let me first explain the syntax of the two-dimensional array. File, new, done. Don't save. Int. How many square brackets, guys, for two-dimensional array? For single dimensional, there is only one. For two-dimensional, can anyone?
Two pairs of square brackets.
Yes, right. You have to write two square brackets here. Okay, two pairs of square brackets. So the variable a can be repeated again. Okay, I'm just using the a. You can write b, c, d also. New int, how many times? Two again, right? Two. So let's say I will write here the first square bracket I will write 2 and the second one I will write 3. What does that mean? Right? This is a syntax, guys. This is a syntax. I'll explain what actually 2 is, what actually 3 is. I'll explain. Here only one value means I can simply say that more than one value can be stored into the variable a and that represents the size of the array. But here 2 and 3 are there. This also represents the sizes of the array. Okay. Based on 2 and 3, the size of this two-dimensional array will be defined. But what is 2 and what is 3? I'm going to explain. Okay. Yes. So 2 means number of rows, 3 means number of columns. Okay. So instead of going with that concept of rows and columns, I want to explain in a different approach. Is very easy to remember, guys. Okay. Instead of saying 2 is number of rows is equal to number of columns is equal to 3, I'm going to explain in this particular two-dimensional array in a different concept where you will understand it very easily. Let me explain that. So by this statement, you will understand this. What is a two-dimensional array? Is nothing but an array of single-dimensional arrays. Okay, two-dimensional array is an array of single-dimensional arrays. So here, guys. So here, the first two represents the number of arrays, number of single-dimensional arrays. How many arrays are there? Two are there. So when a object is created for this two-dimensional array in the memory, this will happen. In the memory, so the first value 2 is there. That means two arrays are there. Two single dimensional arrays will be created. This is the first single dimensional array. This is the second single dimensional array. Okay, how many number of arrays are there, guys? Two single dimensional arrays. In this two dimensional array, there are two single dimensional arrays. So first single dimensional array and second single dimensional array. In every single dimensional array, how many values should be there? Three values. That means in the first single dimensional array, there should be three values. In the second single dimensional also, there should be three values. This is a concept, guys. Okay. This is a concept. So here now you understand, right? Two-dimensional array is nothing but an array of single dimensional arrays. How many single dimensional arrays in this example? Two single dimensional arrays, right? If I mention here five, that means five single dimensional arrays will be there. In every single dimensional array, how many elements will be there? Three will be there. Okay, three elements will be there, like that. Fine. Two-dimensional array is nothing but an array of single dimensional arrays like this. So whenever an object is created in the memory, this kind of thing will happen. So number of arrays is equal to number of single dimensional arrays in this two-dimensional array is 2. First array, second array. The first array will have the index as 0. 0 index. Okay. First array will be 0 index. Second array is index 1. Coming to this first single dimensional array, it also has some indexes, right? It has the first element is like index 0 in the first single dimensional array. Index is 0. Index is 1 here. Index is 2 here. In the second single dimensional array also, again it will also have index 0. First element in the single dimensional array is 0, and here index 1, and here index 2, like this guys. Okay, 0 1 2 0 1 2. This is how the single two-dimensional array will be created in the memory, guys. Okay, based on the syntax. So let me show you the diagrammatic representation of the like this. For example, so two-dimensional array is an array of single-dimensional arrays. The first element, one single-dimensional array is there. In the second element, second single-dimensional array is there. Third single dimensional array, fourth. This is how the 2D representation, guys. This is a 2D representation. Okay, index 0, index 1, index 2, index 3, index 4. Right? In index 0, one array will be there. In index 1, second array will be there. Index 3, index 2, another array will be there. 3, 4, different arrays will be there. Same thing here also I mentioned the same thing. Okay. So here index 0, the first array, first single dimensional array, three elements are there. In the index 1, again three elements are there, like this. Okay. It is an array of single dimensional arrays, guys. Okay. It's an array of single dimensional arrays. So if I have to represent it in a different format, I have to represent like this. 2. 2, right? You have to create an array like this. It is an array of, it has two values. It has two values. First one is this particular index 0. Second one is this particular index 1. The first element has, the first 2D array is nothing but an array of single dimensional arrays. First element, it is an array of inside this index 0, there will be an array stored. Okay. In index 0, an array will be stored, guys, whose size is 3. 1 2 3. Okay. And in the this here also another array will be stored. In the second, in the index 1 also, another single dimensional array will be stored of the size 3, like this. That's the reason 2D array is nothing but an array of, it's an array of single dimensional arrays. It's an array of single, in each and every element of this array is an again array. Okay, this is 2D arrays. Fine. So you can visualize in different ways, guys. Okay, your wish. Let me demonstrate declaring, creating, initializing, and accessing the 2D arrays. Okay, let me demonstrate that. Let me clear out all this stuff. Freshly, let me start. Let's create a single 2D array. Int 2D array a is equal to a equal to new int of 2 3. Put a semicolon. Okay, put a semicolon. Now guys, press and enter. Here, so what is the declaration part? What is the creation part? You know that, right? From the single dimensional array, you can understand same thing. This is the declaration part, and this is the creation part. This has created the 2D array, right? New operator with the help of new operator. Okay. Now, how to store the values? How to store the values? So here, if you see the diagrammatic representation, the first element here is 0, 0. The first element here is 0 and 0, guys. Int, sorry, a of a, here variable is a. Here the variable is a. Again, the same variable, right? A. Here a is a variable. It is referring to this particular memory location where the values are being stored. So a of the first element is 0, 0. First element is 0, 0. So what I want to store in a0, 0, first element, I would write like this. Int, sorry, not int, a 0, 0 is equal to, let me say some 6. Okay. So 6 will be stored here. A00, 6 will be stored here. Now a of 0, 1. A of 0, 1. This is a 0 and this is a 1. A of 0, 1. The second element. A of 0 and 1 is equal to some 3. So 3 will be saved here, assigned here, you can say. Now the third element is a of 0, 2. A of 0, 2. A of 0, 2. I want to assign a value known as 9. That's it. Okay, here 9 is there. Now another element. How many elements will be there? 2 into 3. How many elements, guys? 2 into 3. 2, 3 is a 6. 6 elements will be there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 elements. Okay. Now a of 1, 0. A of 1, 0 is equal to some, let's say 7. A of 1, 0 is equal to 7. Okay. Now a of next one. What is the next one, guys? So here 7. A of 1, 0 is equal to 7. Next one is a of 1, 1. 1, 1 is equal to, give some number 5. So 5 will be assigned here. In this particular memory, 5 will be assigned. A of 1, 0. Now a of last one is 1, 2. A of 1, 2 is equal to, give some number. Let's say that is 8. 8. So 8 got assigned. This is how, guys. Okay. Simply in other terminology, we say this 0 and 1 as rows and 0, 1, 2 are columns. Okay. Rows and columns. Row 0, row 1, column 0, column 1, column 2. You can go in any other ways. Okay. So this is what I feel is convenient. So first one is, so there are two single dimensional arrays. In each and every single dimension, there are three arrays, right? Three elements. First single dimensional array, 3 elements. Second single dimension, 3 elements. The first array, single dimensional array has index 0. Second single dimensional array has index 1. The first single dimensional array, 3 elements are there having 0, 1, 2 as index. In the second single dimensional array, again 3 elements are there with 0, 1, 2 index. So 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 2, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2. Now this is about the assignment part, how to access them. System dot out dot println a of the first element 0, 0. Here whatever you see, this one a of 0, 0. What will be printed? 6 will be printed. This is how you are accessing, guys. You are accessing the array elements. Let me copy paste so that it will not waste our time. 3, 4, 5, 6 elements, right? 6. The first element is a of 0, 0. Second one is a of 0, 1. We're accessing the second element. A of 0, 2 is the third element. A of 1, 0 is the fourth element. Fourth array element, I can say. A of 1, 1. A of 1, 1. Fifth element. A of 1, 2. Sixth element. Like this, guys. So when I print this thing, what will happen when I print? Sorry, when I execute this program, all the values in the array, 2D array will be printed. Like this. Okay? You can print like this. Fine. This is what about the two-dimensional array. This is about the demonstrating, declaring, creating, initializing, and accessing the two-dimensional array. Now let's create the shortcut representation of the two-dimensional array, guys. Okay, shortcut representation of the two-dimensional array. How to create the shortcut representation of a two-dimensional array? Okay, we can close with this, guys. Okay, with the shortcut, we can continue from here tomorrow. 2D array, we can continue from tomorrow. I'll explain up to here. This will be fine for today. So let's go to the shortcut representation. How to shortcut represent this 2D array? Okay. So here a lot of steps you have to write, right? For declaration, creation, and assignment, you have to write this many number of steps. How many are there here in this example? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 steps are there. Instead of these 7 steps, we can actually modify this in such a way that you can create a shortcut representation. Again, put curly brackets like this, guys. Curly brace open, curly brace end. The first element you have to write. But before that, how many arrays? 2, comma 3, right? 2 single dimensional array you want to create. So inside this curly brackets, again create two curly brackets. 2 single dimensional arrays. This is the first single dimensional. This is the second single dimensional array. The first single dimensional array, I want to store this 639. So provide 6, 3, 9. The second one 758. 7, 5, 8. Remove this part. This is the shortcut representation, guys. Okay, this is the shortcut representation of the two-dimensional array. So there are two single-dimensional arrays. If you want to represent the same thing, integer 2, 3. If you want 2, 3, okay, integer array of 2, 3. If you want to do that, you have to assign the values like this. 2 means 2 arrays. The first array 3 values are there, and the second array 3 values are there. So it will when I execute right, it will give the same result, guys. Okay, let me clear out this result first, the older result. Now run it in a fresh manner. Right click, run as Java application. You will get the same output. Okay, you will get the same output 639758. Okay, guys, this is the shortcut representation of the array, two-dimensional array. Okay, I will explain this remaining sections in the next section. So far clear, guys? Is everything clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Sir. Yeah, yes, sir.
Fine, then that's it for today. Let's meet tomorrow at the same time, and let's continue the arrays concept tomorrow. Okay. Remaining
Thanks,
concept.
Arun. Good night.
Yeah. Good night, everyone. See you tomorrow. Same time. Bye.